Uh-oh. We got a problem.
Uh-oh.
What?
Uh-oh. What's happening here? Hold on, guys. Technical issue.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Oh.
Uh-oh. Cameras are screwed up.
Uh-oh.
Cameras
No.
are screwed up.
Oh.
There we
Uh-oh.
go. All right, sorry about that. First stream jitters getting out of the way early, I guess. So hello everybody and welcome to our very first iteration from BBTV of the coverage for the NIPPHL Fantasy Hockey League. I'm very excited about this.
Oh, I'm titillated.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one, Brian. I'm very excited to show some coverage here of some very exciting new things that we talked about in development back when we first started BBTV Productions. Well, not first started, but when we started live streaming as BBTV Productions back with our Fundamentals Fantasy Women's Hockey League. So of course,
No, basketball.
Basketball league. My fault. So of course, to start out from right to left here, we have Brian up in Milwaukee, team owner. Brian, what's your team name again?
Butter.
So that's Brian. He's one of the new teams to the league. Well, the new team of the league. So it's great to have Brian in the league. Next up, we have an outside source, a former owner in Mike, former co-owner of Tickle My Bickle with myself, Mike.
Hello.
That's Mike. And then, of course, we have Tommy, our team owner of what's your team name?
What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc? Also, the league commissioner of the NIPPHL League. Tommy?
And reigning champion.
And reigning champion.
Reigning back-to-back champion.
Reigning back-to-back champion. My apologies.
Appreciate you.
My apologies. So that's Tommy, and then of course myself. Like I said before, I'm Matt. I took over for team This Is George as single owner, formerly a co-owner of Tickle My Bickle with Mike, and then before that, I joined Mike after a hiatus. Before that, owned my former team. I don't even remember their name, but I'm sure Tommy does.
Never go full Kopitar.
There you go. So it's great to finally get some nice development here in our new.
What?
Yeah.
What is that name? What is that name?
We're just gonna blow right past that one.
Okay.
So of course we're just gonna try
10 years ago.
It was.
Okay,
it was 10 years ago. It was a different time, okay, guys. And now I'm currently the owner of also a racist name of the Aurora trash pack of Stanleys. Which I thought was Staley's, so I thought it was a poke at the Bears up until literally today. Even though George has been a team in the league since 2017. So that's that. So we're going to just go ahead and jump right into this. Of course, like the title says, this is our draft recap. But it's also obviously our draft rankings, our draft just overview of the entire draft, a recap, if you will. So first up, we're going to start over with Tommy. He is covering which division is that again?
So yeah, this would be the EH division, which obviously, as we all know, is the Everly Hills 90210 current name. We will have an update later in the year to a different name for that division, but as it stands, Everly Hills 90210.
And how are you doing? I believe that's Tim. Is that you, Tim, over there, saying what up, goofballs? How you doing, Tim? So go ahead, Tommy.
Sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at each of the teams here and just kind of take analyze really the different teams. To start off, we're going to start off with the tried and true classic of A Bunch of Ahos by team owner Marty. Now, A Bunch of Ahos had an interesting draft here. He was very distracted while drafting on a phone call, so it did kind of make sense why some of his picks were a little lackluster, but overall he did have a decent draft here. We gave him a 7 out of 10 for forwards, 7 out of 10 for defense, and 6 out of 10 for goalies, giving him a C ranking, or 67% for his draft here. Now, looking at his picks, the obvious standout here for me was Giroux in the 13th round. Giroux is a top power play winger on a dynamic Sens offense that's getting healthier with the return of Norris. And while he is 36, I see no reason why he would regress at this point, at least as much to where ESPN projects him to regress. And 13th round really is a steal for him. Now, on the other end, we have Swayman. Swayman is a goaltender for Boston, and Bunch of Ahos ended up taking him in the 5th round. Now, Swayman is in, at best, a 1B situation behind Ullmark. Taking him this early over some of the other goalies that were available in that position, in better positions, such as Gustafsson, or his next round pick Skinner, has potential to look like a big waste of a pick that early on. Any comments on that?
No, I feel like that was a pretty good analysis. Also, it's great to hear from you as well, Tim. And Michael, your mom is calling you.
Oh, is she now?
Oh,
Okay.
very
okay.
nice. Good.
So, thank you for the input there, Tim. He's a bum.
Anyway, moving on here. We're going to take a look at a new team that came in last year, did very well, and ended up actually going to the finals, but came up just short, losing in that final matchup. And it would be, of course, Greg's team, freezing My Kuznetsov. Now, Greg had an excellent draft for forwards, but what he kind of missed was defense and goaltending, spending most of his draft capital on forwards. I believe there was around 16 or 17 forwards that he drafted, only hitting the minimum of 6 defensemen, and I believe 2 or 3 goalies there. Now, with that being said, he did get a 10 out of 10 for his forward selection, but only a 5 out of 10 for defense as well as goaltending, giving him also a 67% and a C grade for his draft here. Taking a look at his picks, the best standout here was Evander Kane in the 15th round. So not only does Kane rack up the hits, he is also positioned to play once again on that top line with McDavid. And in the 15th round, it's just picking up free points there. If he could find a way onto that top power play unit as well, that value goes up exponentially. So we'll see what he can do there. As far as a worst pick, I would go with Brandon Montour. Not really a huge believer in Montour myself, and 6th round seems very high. That said, that was his first defenseman off the board, and Montour is injured, according to the general manager of the Florida Panthers. He'll be back somewhere between November and January, which is a hell of a spread and a very long time to be without that top producing defenseman on your team. And he could even lose that spot potentially. They did sign a few new defensemen in this offseason, so if somebody else steps up and takes his spot there, you could see him just returning to a second power play unit defenseman, which a big risk at the 2nd round there, taking him. Any thoughts, guys?
Pretty good analysis.
Yeah, good analysis on that one.
Perfect.
Couldn't have said it better.
You sure? All right, moving on to the last team in the Eberly Hills 90210 division. We have IKANEnot DOIT with team owner Eric. And if there's one thing that you should do in life, it's make fun of your boss's team on a recorded line. So I would say that Eric, he got a draft grade. He did decently well in everything. The problem is he did decently well in everything. There wasn't really any big standouts throughout his team. So he had a 7 out of 10 for forwards, 6 out of 10 for defense, and 6 out of 10 for goaltending, giving him a 63%, just slightly below those first two teams, and a D grade for his draft. Now, keep in mind, I don't know how to grade things. So D is not actually where I would put him if it was on a real
Hey.
scale, but
Hey.
I made this up. So, D. D sounds right. Anyway, looking at his picks here, my biggest concern is goaltending for him. But first, let's look at one of his best picks, a goaltender in Bobrovsky, who he took in the 19th round. It's hard for me to put Bob on the best pick list after how badly he burnt me last season. That being said, Bob has some huge boomer bust potential. He does have Knight, if he's healthy, that could steal some of those starts, but Bob still should get a big share of that crease time, backing up a team that just made it to the Cup last season. And with the 19th round, that's definitely worth the risk there. And for his worst pick, I'm going with one of his other two goalies, Carter Hart. Carter Hart was taken in the 11th round, so 9 rounds earlier than Bobrovsky for a much worse goaltender. And so speaking of goalies, Hart isn't really a good one. While he could be traded at some point during the season, he is secured as the backstop for Philly, and they look like they're going to be pretty terrible this year. And while the goalie crop wasn't that great for who was still available, most of them would be a better option than Hart. So definitely a missed opportunity there. Any thoughts?
No, I think that's, once again, pretty accurate.
Thank you.
All right.
That's all I got. That's the whole division.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Tommy. Next up, we're going to move over to Brian with what division again are you covering, Brian?
Yeah, so I have the what is it? The Irish Puck-Ups. It's the division that I will be covering.
Pretty good team. Pretty good division name. I like it.
Yeah, that's a pretty good name. Who came up with that?
That would be my dad last year.
Okay.
So also due
Pretty
for
good name.
another name change here if Dave can give me a new name for that division.
All right. Well, that division is going to include the Aurora Trash Pack of Stanleys owner Matt, the Scottsdale Stars with owner Tim, and the DG Mad Bombers with owner Dave. So let's just go in order with that. I have it here. Now I did get these best and worst picks from Tommy here, with his great insight. So I'm going to do my best to explain these best and worst picks, but it did come from what I think is a credible source. So. All right. So let's start with the Aurora Trash Pack of Stanleys. We have Matt, who scored a score of 8 for forwards, 7 for defense, and a 9 for goals tending. Let's see here.
Overall grade.
Good old goals tending.
Yeah, the goalies.
Do you have the overall grade on that?
Yeah, the overall grade is going to come out to an 80%, with landing him in a B, which is pretty good. That's B's a good grade. B is passing.
That's true. B is passing.
Okay. So now let's go into his best pick. So best pick I have Andrei Vasilevsky here, who is a goaltender He is a pretty good goaltender. It's actually pretty surprising that he did not get picked up a little bit earlier, but I'm sure that his out status was definitely a factor into that. Because he just had some back surgery late September. So he is sure to miss out.
Which would have been after the draft.
After the draft.
After the draft.
Yes.
That was announced
never
after
mind.
the draft.
Oh, never mind. It was
That's okay.
a good
Take your
pick,
time.
though.
It was a good pick.
It was a good pick. Though he is sure to miss out on some games coming up here. Probably about 2 months worth, but we will see. I'm sure he will be explosive afterwards. Now, worst pick, I have Quinn Hughes, which he picked up in the 5th round. Tommy, do you care to elaborate on that one?
Yeah, so Quinn Hughes does nothing but really score points, so you won't get any of those peripheral categories. Shots, he doesn't take too many of them. Hits and blocks, almost none compared to most other defensemen, but he will rack up points and power play points, so there is some upside there, but 5th is just a little too early for a guy who is very one-dimensional.
All right. Now let's go into the Scottsdale Stars with team owner Tim. He scored a 9 for forwards, a 5 for defensemen, and a 5 for goalies. Now, did he auto draft?
No.
Nope.
No?
No.
Okay. Well, this is going to land him with a 63% and an overall grade of a D. Would anybody like to say anything about his team while I pull up his picks that I have?
Well, we ranked him 11 out of 12 teams possible. I'm sorry. Yeah, 12 teams possible. Even ESPN drafts ranked him 12th. So one of the worst drafts that we had.
Yeah, I don't think that's really all that fair. I think everybody had a very decent draft, so somebody's got to be last. It's just I think Tim kind of falls in that area. He does have a strong offense, but it's not quite as strong as that freezing My Kuznetsov team. And he does have a weak defense and weak goaltending, very similar to that team. In fact, might be a little bit weaker in both of those categories, which kind of brings him down to that 12th position here.
Yeah, and you know what they say, hockey does not belong in the desert, so.
True story.
Wow, yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to play hockey on sand.
Yes, it is.
Alright, so I have, for best, I have Philip Forsberg, who was picked up in the 13th round. Now, this is a pretty good steal because his averages are, compared to other 13th round picks, is pretty good. Now, he's projected to do pretty well this season. He plays for the Nashville Predators. So it will be exciting to see where he goes. For worst pick though, I have Justin Falk, who is a defenseman out of the St. Louis.
Falk.
What did I say? Fuck.
Pretty much.
Justin Fuck was picked up in the 8th round. Now he is not even, if I am looking into him correctly, is not even guaranteed a spot in the Was that power play?
That's power play.
Yeah. So, but this will ultimately come down to the health of his teammates. But this is, again, way too early for a 8th round pick. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. That's good.
Cool.
Good job.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
I'm new to hockey, so I'm learning here. I'm learning. All right, now let's go into who's up next. The DG Mad Bombers with team owner Dave. Now, Dave scored a 7 for forwards, 9 for defensemen, and a 10 for goalies. 10's pretty good for goalies. It's a pretty good score.
It's the top score.
Yeah, that's the best
10
score
out
you
of
can
10.
get.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
that's pretty good.
Not a D.
Yeah,
Matt,
that's not a
it's not.
D.
Well, he hadn't said the grade yet,
Okay.
so
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So, the grade is going to bring him out to an 87% with an ultimate grade of an A. All right. Let's pull up his best pick. Was Taylor Hall, who is a forward with the Chicago Blackhawks, so I'm sure you are all familiar with him, much more familiar than I am. But from what I have gathered, he is definitely going to be a prominent player in the power play, and will have plenty of exposure with Connor Bedard, which is good for him in his development, and good pick for the 18th.
That's right.
thanks, Brian.
Yeah,
Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome. Now, going into the worst, picked up in the 7th round, we have Frederick Anderson.
Yes.
No. Yes.
Yep.
Frederick
Frederick
Anderson.
Anderson.
Now,
third overall. Yep.
so it looks like that he has a bad record of getting hurt.
Yep, that's right.
So
That's true.
So prayers out to Anderson. I
Praise to
hope
Freddie.
that you can stay healthy, but unfortunately that is not a guaranteed. So that is why he's at first. Worst.
Well, thank you,
First for
Brian.
worst.
Thank you,
Yep.
Brian, for showing us that you can, in fact, still read a script.
Thank God.
So next up, we're gonna have me. I'm going to be covering the Just Take 30 division, which includes What's Up Doc, the Emptynetters, and the Ice Road Puckers. So let's go ahead, if I can find them, is starting out with the Ice Road Puckers, team owner Pete. Tommy, we had a grade there of forwards with an 8 overall. That is so distracting. Defenseman with an 8 overall. And goalies for an 8 overall. Oh, sorry, I am screwing this up. We're going to start out with Tommy, that's why. So we're starting out with Tommy, team What's Up Doc. My apologies, that is not your grade, Pete. Sorry about that. So we're going to start out with Tommy with team What's Up Doc. Excuse my apologies. Forwards 8, defensemen 8, guards. Still thinking of basketball. Goalies 9, with a overall draft grade of an A.
Completely unbiased.
Completely
Wow,
unbiased there.
You graded yourself really well there, Tommy.
I believe so. I think I did a great job grading myself.
Okay, so starting off with Tommy here, we had his best. Tommy had a lot of picks in here that were solid picks, but I had to go for best with Johnny Gaudreau taken 109th overall in the 10th round. Columbus is coming off a terrible season, but one of the few bright spots was the acquisition of Johnny Gaudreau. Gaudreau still managed to put up a sizable 74 points season last year, and with the addition of rookie Adam Fantilli being a potential line mate, this could be a monster pickup for the beginning of the 10th round for What's Up Doc here. And on the opposite end here, we have his last pick in the draft in Matt Coronado, who doesn't even have a picture on ESPN. Matt Coronado, so we have, he was 276th overall in the 23rd round. Mr. Irrelevant, if you will. So Mr. Irrelevant will either be a second line lock for Calgary, or he will spend the majority of the season in the AHL. This pick, like a lot of late round picks, has the potential to be a steal in the late rounds, but more than likely this pick holds true to the name Mr. Irrelevant. So not looking very promising for Matt Coronado, but there is always potential there for those young guys. And with Tommy, he's the only one I did on this list. I actually gave him an honorable mention here for another great pickup that I put just behind Gaudreau, but still thought it was a good enough pick that it should be noted, is Dylan Larkin out of Detroit. So Dylan Larkin, he took 85th overall in round 8. He's the 40th best player available in the draft given the current league settings. Larkin put up career high stats last season due to an increased role in Detroit. But with a full season under a similar role, Larkin should be a huge asset for What's Up Doc. So just an 40th best player in the draft given our current league settings, and he was able to take him 85th overall. So a huge pickup for What's Up Doc, just showing that, you know, all of us can get high-end talent, but for some reason he's able to find those nice depth pieces for him there. So next up, we're going to go with the Ice Road Puckers. That is team owner Pete. And Pete had a 9 in forwards rating, a 5 in defensemen, so a bit of a drop-off there on the defense, obviously, but very strong in the offensive categories. And then goalies sitting at a 6, so just above par, but not the best, giving Pete an overall average of a grade C here. So grade C for Pete there. So Pete's best, I thought, even though I tried to stay out of the early rounds, but with this one I just couldn't help myself, was Mikko Rantanen. He was taken 19th overall in round 2, so right at the end of the second round there. Rantanen is coming from a great situation in Colorado, posting 105 points, and that team seems to have somehow improved out in Colorado. I could have seen him going potentially low first, high second round, so grabbing him at 19 near the bottom of the second round was a great move, giving the Ice Road Puckers the number 8 in points last season at a bargain. So taken 19th overall when posting the 8th most points in the league, I'd say that's a pretty damn good pickup there. But of course, on the opposite end of the spectrum is Cam Talbot, goalie out of LA. So Cam Talbot was taken 235th overall in round 23, so another very last round of the draft pick for just filling a void here. But Talbot is coming off a rough season in Ottawa, posting a 17-14-2 record with a .293 goals allowed average and an .898 save percentage. and now moving to an offensive heavy LA Kings squad, Talbot does not seem destined for much improvement, if any. With Phoenix Copley at his heels, posting a 24-6-3 record with a 2.64 goals allowed average and a 903 save percentage last season, I can't see Talbot holding down that starting job for long. With only 2 goalies currently on the Puckers roster, this could easily become a costly pick even for a last round pick. So, there's options out there still for him, but I think Talbot is not the solution there for you Ice Road Puckers. And then last, I'm going to be covering the Emptynetters team owner Sue, if I can find them. There they are. So starting out here, Sue had a forward grade of an 8, a defensive grade of a 9, and a goalie's grade of a 9 as well. So a really strong draft out of Susan, giving her an overall grade of an A. So a great draft for Susan this year here. But we're going to start out. Susan's best was Martin Nietzsche. Did I pronounce that correctly, Tommy?
That's right.
If I can find him. She took Nietzsche here out of Carolina in 114th overall in the 10th round. So coming off a very solid 71-point 2023 campaign, Nietzsche is projected to be the second line right wing as well as the second line center on the power play. On a very solid Carolina squad, this could be an absolute steal of a mid-10th round pick. So just getting that 71-point production out of him, that team does not seem to have really done worse, at least. So I can't imagine him posting much worse numbers than he did last year, and he was already great for a second-line winger there. So, but of course, I think the one that might be the easiest worst draft pick here decision would be number 7 overall, our new first overall draft pick from this year, Connor Bedard. Bedard has already shown why he was drafted first overall by the Chicago Blackhawks with a hat trick in his first game in a Hawks sweater. But 7th overall was far too early for an unproven rookie talent when the likes of Nikita Kucherov, Cale Makar, and Jack Hughes were still available. This pick has the potential to either be a steal at 7, but more likely multiple rounds too early for a rookie on a struggling lack of talent Chicago team. So, just like I said, he's going to be a great player, but 7th overall is not even close to where he should have gone in this draft. ESPN had him ranked in the 4th round, and we were talking about it here in the studio before the draft that ranking was still pretty high for a rookie who's unproven. So hopefully that will play out greatly, but at the same time, with those at least 3 other players that are legitimate proven first round talents, that may come back to bite Susan in the butt here. So still a grade A overall for the Emptynetters. So now I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Mike with our final division.
Alrighty, the final division is the Puckheads, which consists of Team Butter, owned by Brian, Team Burns Down the House by owner Alicia, and Team Retired Doc.
So it's Burnsin down.
Burnsin, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Burnsin Down the House. Oh, team owner. Nope. Sorry. The last team is Retired Doc Emrick, owned by team owner Kevin. So for, hang on 1 second. Lost where I am. Hang on.
Burnsin Down the House.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right. So for the first team, Burns Down the House owner team Alicia. For the forwards grades is a 7. Defense is going to be a 6, and goalies is going to be a 10. So she got some pretty good goalies in there. For an overall score of 77, which is a C. For her worst pickup, just because they were drafted way too early from I'm sorry. What's the team again?
We don't know who you're talking about, so I'm not sure.
Fantilli. Adam Fantilli.
Okay. Columbus.
Columbus. Thank you. Jeez. Yeah, they just way too early of a draft to spend it on a unproven rookie, basically. Best pickup, or steal, as you would call it, would be Jake DeBrusk. With the departure of Bergeron and Krejci, DeBrusk looks to take a step forward for offensive opportunities available to him. Let's see what he can do with it. So hopefully he'll be pretty good this season for Boston and be a good pick for Burns and Down the House. Next up is Butter. With forwards was a 7. Defense was an 8. And goalies was a 9 for an 80% average, which is a B grade. Worst for Butter was Samuelson, because he is not that great of a player, and he has low peripherals. Best.
I could tell you did your research on that one.
I did. Best is Evan. How do you say that?
No, take your time.
You got it.
Evangelista? Evangelista? Is that how you say it?
So
No.
I'm finding finding these players on the fly, and I'm looking at them currently, and I have no idea who you're. Oh, okay. That took a minute to find him.
Luke Evangelista? Is that how you say it? Alright, anyway. He has
Evangelista.
Evangelista, thank you.
Kind of like
what's up,
Dave
Emily?
Bautista.
From the Predators. He has some great upside,
Nice.
and since the Preds are injury riddled, could have some great upside again. Yeah. Okay.
They're not really injury
Hey,
riddled. They
just
don't have any talented players.
I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I don't mean to interrupt here, but Emily, are you nervous? Okay, Mike, you can continue.
Okay, moving on to retired Doc Emrick's team owner, Kevin. For forwards, he has a 10. Defenseman, 9. Goalies, 1.
Why'd you say it like that?
9.
9.
9. All right, moving on. Mike, overall grade.
Yeah, so the goalies are not great there. For an average of 67, which is a C. For the best, we got Josh Norris, taken out of the 14th round. He's returning from a season-ending injury, and will likely slot in as a second-line center for the Senators. And he has a big offensive upside.
Mike, are you
Worst?
just reading the
Whoa.
ESPN descriptions?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. For the worst, we got Robin. Nope, that's not his first name.
Yeah, it is his first name.
Robin Letter. Jesus.
How'd you know who he's gonna pick?
I'm a psychic.
Oh.
Psycho or psychic? Which one? He is currently injured, and when he does get back from injury, he will
If-
probably what?
If he gets back from injury.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. If he gets back from injury, he probably will not start, seeing as the Knights have two other goalies that are looked really good last year. That's it for me.
They won the cup.
Yeah,
Tandem
exactly.
that won the cup.
Yeah.
Did he lie?
He didn't, but looks really good. Kind of sells it pretty short.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and just give you guys a quick look into our spreadsheet here for the last part, just so you can kind of have a visual representation.
Visual.
Well, didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. So for our rankings this season, we're just gonna go ahead and blow through this here. So after taking a look at all our averages, all our numbers here, getting our averages, our grades, and putting other factors into consideration. First overall, ESPN. I'll read off ESPN. We have retired Doc Emricks in first. We have the Ice Road Puckers in Pete in second. We have Freezing My Kuznetsov Greg in third. We had IKANEnot DOIT Eric in fourth. We have the Emptynetters Sue in fifth. We have Burnsing Down the House Alicia in sixth. A Bunch of Ahos Marty in seventh. Aurora Trash Pack of Stanleys Matt in eighth. We have Butter team owner Brian in ninth. DG Mad Bombers Dave in 10th. What's Up Doc Tommy in 11th. And Scottsdale Stars Tim in 12th place. And that's ESPN's rankings for you. That's posted up
accurate
on the Facebook page. For our rankings, how we put this, we have Sue the Emptynetters in first. We have DG Mad Bombers Dave in second. We have What's Up Doc Tommy in third. We have Butter Brian in fourth. We have Aurora Trash Pack of Stanleys in fifth. Team owner Matt, myself. We have Burnsing Down the House Alicia in sixth. We got Freezing My Kuznetsov Greg in seventh. Ice Road Puckers Pete in eighth. Retired Doc Emrick's Kevin in ninth. A Bunch of Ahos Marty in 10th. The Scottsdale Stars Tim in 11th. And of course, IKANEnot DOIT Eric. Sadly, you are ranked 12th for us here. So it's going to be an exciting season to see, to say the least.
I would like to point out that the biggest rank jump that there was in fact Tommy.
This is complete. Our rankings
ESPN rank of 11 up to our rank of placing number 3.
Third.
Now, is it biased? Probably not.
No.
Probably
actually,
not.
giving the past, no, it's actually not that biased at all.
So there you have it. That is our draft recap of the Fantasy Hockey NIPPHL League here for you guys. Hopefully
And just real quick, Brian, real quick for a comparison, I was supposed to come in 9th last season according to ESPN, and I came in 1st. Dave was supposed to come in 6th. He came in 3rd. And Freezing My Kuznetsov 4th to 2nd. So they're way off. Way off.
I feel like you took that personally.
I did. I always do.
Thanks. It's great. It's great to see some of the team owners and also people outside the league jumping in the chat here. It's always great to see some interaction from you guys. This will be a very exciting league, as it always is. Of course, this is our 10th season. We've made it a decade. Some of us. Tommy, can you list off the original teams that are still in existence?
Yeah, for sure. So we have obviously myself, being one of the original. I think we're down to 5 now. There were the Emptynetters, also a original team here. Ice Road Puckers, again another original team. After that, Scottsdale Stars, unfortunately, just missing the mark by a season or two. A Bunch of Ahos, also a original team. And oddly enough, Aurora Trash Pack of Stanleys, Matt's team, while they did have a hiatus there, was one of the original teams in the league. So I guess it counts. I don't really know. The jury's still out on that one. Mike, you don't count as an original team anymore because you're no longer in the league.
Dang it! I only made it 9 years. I'm sorry.
You only made it 9 years.
Well, it was a good run. Mike, of course, last season taking over as the very first team in league history to make it to 100 losses.
That's right.
And then I quit.
And then you quit. So going out with a bang, if you will.
I mean, some can argue that you quit well before that.
Well, this is true.
That is true. I did manage the team for about 3 years with no help outside of the draft. So that's okay. No bad blood between brothers here.
I like drafting.
Former team owners together.
Only good blood.
It's great to see, like I said, the interaction.
Spider Monkey.
The Stars are close to 100 losses as well, and the Aurora Trash Pack of Stanleys did break 100 last season as well.
Correction, so did the Stars. Stars are sitting at 103.
Yeah, Stars are sitting at 103. What are could you just read them off at this point?
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and read through them quick here. So, what's up, Doc? All-time record 187 games, which is the most you can play, which there are 5 of us who have done so. I'm at 135, 48, and 4. Bunch of Ahos, 119, 64, and 4. Burns and Down the House, just 4 away from the 100 win mark, 96, 83, and 8. Ice Road Puckers, just 3 away from the 100 win mark, 97, 86, and 4. Emptynetters, also 4 away from the 100 win mark, 96, 82, and 9. Scottsdale Stars, sitting at through 165 games played, 57, 103, and 5. Retired Doc Emrick, 66, 50, and 4 through 120 games. IKANEnot DOIT, 49, 69, and 2 through 120 games.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
DG Mad Bombers, 43, 33, and 2 through 78 games. Freezing My Kuznetsov, 12, 7, and 2 through 21. Never Go Full Kopitar, formerly, now Aurora Trash Pack of Stanleys, resumes his record at 36, 28, and 3 through 67 games.
We up.
And Butter entering at 0, 0, and 0. Once again, Michael's final record, average. Tickle My Bickle, came out at 74, 102, and 11 through 187 games for reference.
I tied 11 games?
The tied 11 games.
I think
more
like
than anyone in league history.
I'm pretty sure like 4 of them happened last season.
Yep, that was pretty close to that.
Yeah.
And Aurora Trash Pack of Stanleys, 35, 107 through 142 games. The original Aurora Trash Pack of Stanleys.
They have now been taken over by going full Kopitar. So, okay. Yes. Well, anyways, for sake of time, we're creeping up on an hour if you include the the starting soon page for us. But like I said, it's going to be a very exciting season. The plan as of right now is to hopefully put out an episode roughly once a month. We're going to give more the format we did for our basketball league of something along the lines of giving predictions for upcoming games, maybe pinpointing specifically which ones. We may start posting those somewhere as well for time's sake for these episodes. We'll be going over what our records are on our predictions from previous weeks. We'll be going over what the current standings are for the league, just everything you really can learn about the league. We will be sharing a video to just, keep you guys interested, make things interesting here. So any closing remarks for you guys over there?
Yeah, just excited to get the year rolling here. Once again, games actually begin next week on October the 10th, so that Tuesday will be the first games here, a week from tomorrow. Thank you all for joining us for these 10 years, or at least the 5 of us who have been here for the full 10 years, and look forward to a great season here.
Mike, Brian, you guys got anything to say?
Hopefully it'll be a great season. How many years would this be back to back, Tommy, if you want it all again?
This would be my second three-peat.
Second three-peat. Oh my gosh.
Tim said he set his lineup through November 5th.
That'll work. It's a good thing players never get injured.
Sorry, Mike.
Well, as this being my first season, I would like
I didn't mean to block that.
Why did you block it?
I didn't mean to. I tried to hit accept. It said, "Good luck, losers."
Banned.
Why is there a black term called
banned?
losers?
Hit him with the ban hammer. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Haters.
Brian, closing remarks.
Yeah. So this being my first season, I'd like to thank everyone for allowing me into this league. I'm
wow.
Yeah, I don't have it pulled up right now. My phone died.
Uncle Tim said good luck fuckers instead.
That's better.
That's better.
That's much better. Unbanned. Because now it's funny.
Sorry, Brian, closing remarks. Finish it out.
No, but I'm excited to get started. I'm hoping for a great season. Yeah, let's go. Let's go butter.
Let's go butter. So like I said, one last thing before we go here. If anyone is interested